Shalom Alikam. Shalom Alikam. All praises to the highest. Yahuah, Yahusha. We are back. Season 2. We're going to just jump right into this. Yahuah is Yahusha. Who is the master of masters? In the Obari, it's pronounced Adun, Adunim. Who is the master of masters? Now, I know the Christians, they say JC is the LORD of LORDs. Well, in that context, removing the pagan side of it, who is the master of masters? Most of y'all gonna say Yahusha, right? Okay. Well, let's jump over to Torah and let's see what Torah shows us. We're gonna jump over here first to Deuteronomy 10:17. Let's look at that. So Deuteronomy 10:17 says, for Yahuah, your Eluah, he is Eluah of Elohim, and Yahuah of Elohim, the great and strong and terrible Eluah, who does not accept persons, nor will he by any means accept a bribe. So you can see LORD of LORDs, which I'm assuming, obviously, when you see the LORD, that would be Yahuah right here. And I guess this would be referring to masters or Adun. Now, let's go ahead and let's look at also Psalms 136, 1 through 3. This is Psalms 136, 1 through 3. Alleluia. Give thanks to Yahuah, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. Give thanks to the Eluah of Elohim, for his mercy endures forever. Give thanks to what? The LORD of LORDs, for his mercy endures forever. But you can see that right there. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and let's jump over to the book of Kazun, or Revelations chapter 17, verse 4. And what are we going to see? Let's take a look. My bad. I had said Revelation 7:4. It should be 17:4. Let's look at that real quick. And it says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Yahuah the Master and King of Kings, or LORD of LORDs. Now, they have it written like this because I'm using a Sefer, but if you look at it in the KJV in the Renewed Covenant, it's going to say LORDs of LORD. Let's jump over to that real quick just to prove it. So Revelation 17, verse 14. Let's scroll back down, and we're in the KJV. These shall make war with the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is LORD of LORDs and Kings of Kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. So Yahuah is being called the LORD of LORDs, and you got Yahusha being called the LORD of LORDs. Why? Yahuah is Yahusha. Anytime you have an issue with these things, you always have to go back to what the Most High said in the first covenant. If he said that there's nobody else, then that means there's nobody else. I don't care what you think. I don't care where you say, well, he sent his son, so that means that he died. That means he experienced death. Yes, he did that. But I think that the problem is that people have a hard time wrapping their mind around the fact that just because the Messiah walked on this earth means that the eternal Eluah in the Shamayim was gone and just disappeared. I don't think y'all understand what omnipresence really truly means. You're limiting it because you're saying, how can the Most High be in heaven and be on earth at the same time and walk amongst men when he literally said, I'm present everywhere? Stop limiting his omnipresence, because that shouldn't be a hard thing to wrap your mind around. All right, let's look at another one. Who is the King of Kings? We looked at the LORD of the LORDs, but who is the King of Kings? Naturally, you gonna say Yahusha, which is true, but the same can be said about Yahuah. Let me show you. So the first place we're gonna go is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 47. Let's look at that real quickly. Daniel chapter 2, verse 47. And it says, and the king answered and said to Daniel, of a truth, your Eluah is Eluah of Elohim, as we just read, and LORD of kings. Okay, so master of kings or king of kings, the highest rank, who reveals mysteries, for you have been able to reveal this mystery. Now, let's go ahead and let's connect that to Isaiah. All right, so this is Isaiah 33:22. And it says, for Mayalu is great. Yahuah, our judge, shall not pass me by. Yahuah is our prince. Yahuah is our king. Yahuah, he shall save us. So once again, he's the king. Yahuah is the king. He is the great. He shall save us. He is our judge. He is our prince. All right. So we see he was the master of kings. He is our king. And then we're going to also look at the verse to connect us to this. So now that we see that Yahuah is referred to as king, let's jump over to the new covenant. First, we're going to go to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 14 through 15. All right, this is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 14 through 15. That you guard this commandment without spot, unrebukable, until the appearing of our master, Yahushua HaMashiach, which is in his time he shall show who is the Baruch, or blessed and only, potentate, King of kings, and Yahuah the master, or what? Lord of Lords. King of kings, Lord of Lords, master of masters, kings of kings. Right there in your face. Right there in your face. So we can see that Yahusha and Yahuah both referred to as the King of Kings. So this is Revelations 19, and let's look at verse 15 and 16 real quick. And out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron, and he treads the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Yahuwah Sabaoth. And he, 16, and he has on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings, Malak Malakim, and Adun Adunim, Yahuwah Adonai, or what would be the Lord of Lords. Okay, so right here you can see Yahusha is referred to as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, as is Yahuah. Bro, Yahuah is Yahusha. And I don't know how many episodes I got to do to keep on showing all this, but we'll keep going. Who slays the wicked with the breath of his mouth? Y'all gonna say Yahusha. Well, did you know Yahuah said the same thing? Let's look at Isaiah 11:14, or Salaki. Let's look at Isaiah 11, verse 4 real quick. All right, let's check it out, y'all. So Isaiah 11, verse 4, and it reads thus, but he shall judge the cause of the lowly, and he shall reprove the lowly of the earth, and he shall smite the earth with the word of his mouth. The word of Yahuwah, the word made flesh, and with the breath of his lips shall he destroy Hadasha Akkad, the wicked one. Okay, so we see that it says Yahuwah will do it, because we in Yashayahu, Isaiah, first covenant. Now let's go ahead and let's jump over to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8, and let's see what we get with that. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that lawless one be revealed, who Yahuwah shall consume with the ruach of his mouth, the breath of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. But we know that the Messiah is prophesied in Genesis 3:15 to destroy the serpent. So if Yahuwah is going to destroy the anti-Messiah, and Yahusha is going to destroy the anti-Messiah, Yahuwah is Yahusha. It's just that simple. Let's look at this in the KJV real quick. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. Yep. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. The brightness of his coming. So Yahuwah is coming. Yahuwah is coming down to the earth. The brightness of his coming. Where it says, behold, he comes with tens of thousands and thousands of his Kadashim. The brightness of his coming. Yeah, that's Yahuwah. Yahuwah is Yahusha. That's what we're waiting on. All right, well, we're going to keep going. All right, we're going to finish this up, all right? So let's do this real quick. Who is the first and the last? You're going to say Yahuwah, but it should be Yahuwah Yahusha. Let's take a look. Boom, let's jump over here. So this is Revelation chapter 2, verse 8. Until the angel of Smyrna, he writes, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. So wait, somebody asked me the other day, so you mean Yahuah died? Yes, he did. Yahuah died. The Most High experienced death because he's the first and the last. Wait. All right, so let's finish this up, man. We got one more we're gonna do. So this one I think is pretty self-explanatory, if I'm being honest with you. But who is the first and the last in Scripture? Who is the first and the last? Naturally, you are going to say Yahusha, especially if you don't know Torah very much. Well, let's deal with it right now. So we're going to start off in the first covenant, Isaiah 44, verse 6. Let's look at that real quick and let's see what it says. So Isaiah 44, verse 6 says, thus saith Alua, or Ka Amar Alua, thus saith Alua, the king of Yasharal. So Yahuwah is also referred to as the king of Yasharal. And I think one of our episodes, we proved that Yahusha is referred to as the king of Israel. Yahuwah is referred to as the king of Israel. But right here is just another witness. And the Alua of hosts that delivered him, I am the first and I am hereafter. Besides me, there is no Alua. Now, this is from the Septuagint. We're using the Septuagint translation, but I just went ahead to translate it to Greek to make sure it says first and the last. And this is the Greek right here from the Septuagint. And you can see right here it says, thus say Alua of Yasharal, the Alua Sabaoth, who is the king of Israel. I am the first and I am the last. And besides me, there is no Alua. Okay, so Yahuwah is saying that he's the first and the last, and there is no Alua. Now, this gonna mess you up. This gonna mess you up. Check this out. Let's see what Yahusha said in the renewed covenant. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 8. And unto the angel of the church in Smyrna writes, these things saith the first and the last, or the Aleph and the Thou, which was dead and is alive. So people ask me all the time, are you saying the Most High died? Yes. When he became flesh, in his flesh body, his flesh form, his flesh avatar of Yahusha, the Most High went to Sheol and died. The Son of the Most High is the Most High in the flesh. It says it right here. Let me show you again. And unto the angel of the church, or Salaki, not the church, the assembly, the Kahal in Smyrna writes, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. So Yahuwah said, I'm the first and the last. Yahusha is the first and the last. And we notice it's talking about Yahusha because Yahusha did die. Yahuwah is Yahusha. It's just that simple. Let's look at another witness. We're going to jump over here to Revelation chapter 1, and we're going to read 17 through 18. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead, and he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, fear not, I am the first and the last, Aleph and the Thou. So the Aleph and the Thou was able to lay his right hand upon him? Huh. Revelations 1:18, I am he that lives and was dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore, Aman, and have the keys of Gaia Hanam and Shaul, or Sheol, the keys of hell and of death. Yeah, that's the Most High. And let's bring it home with the last witness. Revelations, or Kazun 22:12 through 13. And Hannah, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according to his work as it shall be. I am the Aleph and the Thou. Now, in the heathens, they changed it to Alpha and Omega, but it should be Aleph and Thou. I am the Aleph and the Thou, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. As it says in the Septuagint, as it says when you translate it to the Greek, directly from the Septuagint, it says the same freaking thing, okay? I am the first and the last. Besides me, there is no Alua. I am the King of Israel, the God of Israel, the King of Israel. Look at the King of Israel. Yasharah, Malak ba Yasharah. That is Yahuah. That is the Most High. Yahuah is Yahusha. Okay? It's not hard to see, but we will continue to build out this series and help people understand it. If you fully believe the word of Yahuah, this should not be hard for you to see. But of course, you're going to lean on your own understanding, and you're going to say, but he was sent. And then he said that the Father is greater than him. Of course, the Father is greater. If the Father had to reduce himself into a form that could experience pain, blood, you know what I'm saying, betrayal and all of that, obviously his eternal form is greater. I'll see you on the next one. All esteem